Brazil is the exotic place which is mainly associated with football jungles and carnivals, but this country turns out to be much, much more. Get ready for some super interesting things about an unknown and totally different culture. Welcome, explorers, to another exciting adventure with Fact Frenzy. Let me know in the comments below which country you want to learn about in the next episode of 50 Facts. But now, get ready to be amazed as we uncover 50 incredible facts about Brazil that will leave you speechless. From the mysteries of the Amazon to the iconic landmarks of Sao Paulo, there's no shortage of fascinating discoveries to be made. Don't forget to subscribe for more epic adventures. Let's go. Brazil is the largest country in the southern hemisphere, and the fifth largest in the entire world. It has 219 million people, which automatically makes it the sixth most populous country in the world. Brazil used to be Portuguese territory, and that is why they speak Portuguese, and not Spanish as many people think. It was declared a Portuguese territory in the 14th century, and remained so until its independence in 1822. Translated, the word Brazil means red as hot coal. Legend has it that this name was given by the first settlers as the land was completely covered with pau-brasil, the tree which is actually used to make red paint. Brazil borders with all the countries in South America except two, Ecuador and Chile. Its coastline is as much as 7,400 kilometers. When I was growing up, I often wondered what that strange planet was on the Brazilian flag, and it turned out that it is full of symbolism. The green symbolizes the forests of the Amazon, the yellow represents the rich natural resources, in particular gold. And the most interesting, the blue is the sky over the city of Rio on 15th November 1889 when Brazil was declared a republic. The sky depicts 27 stars for 26 states and one capital, and their motto translates as order and progress. In the Brazilian jungle, there are still tribes who have never made contact with modern humans. Just recently, in 2018, such a tribe was discovered thanks to a drone. Did you know that about 4 kilometers under the Amazon River flows another river that is 300 kilometers wide? Scientists call it Rio Hamza, and it flows extremely slowly, only a millimeter every hour. Truly, it is the most complex river system in the entire world. One prison in Brazil gives inmates the choice to spin wheels and generate electricity for a nearby village, and in return they get a reduction in their sentences. Another prison reduces sentences by as many as 4 days for every book read, and a report written on it. However, the maximum is 48 days per year. You can't read the whole library and get away for murder. Very often, the top 3 most beautiful beaches on the planet feature Baía do Sancho. Besides, of course, the clear waters and golden sands, visitors can very often observe aquatic turtles, whales, sharks, and some other interesting inhabitants. Did you know that since 2008, absolutely every Brazilian can legally and completely free of charge go under sex reassignment surgery, as long as he or she is 21 years old? Hormone therapy before surgery can start as early as after the 18th birthday, again for free. After all, as much as 20% of the population of Rio de Janeiro is homosexual or bisexual. However, Brazil still has the largest Catholic community in the world, around 130 million people. In 2011, Brazil became the first country in the world to ban tanning beds for health reasons. Voting in elections in Brazil is absolutely compulsory for anyone between 18 and 70. They believe that if you are over 70, you cannot make a proper judgment about the future of the country and the lives of the young. Come to think of it, maybe there is some logic to it. There is an island about 30 kilometers from Sao Paulo called Ilha da Queimada Grande, but it is better known as Snake Island. It is absolutely forbidden by the authorities to visit as it is teeming with golden vipers whose density is as high as 3 specimens per square meter. Since they have already eaten everything living on the ground, these snakes hang out in the trees and feed on birds. The national drink of Brazil is cachaça. This is a liqueur made from sugarcane. However, it is most often served as a cocktail called caipirinha. Brazil, as you probably know, is the largest producer of coffee. As much as 30% of the coffee we drink in the morning comes from there. Most Brazilians don't get married until they are 30. At what age they do it in your country? Rio de Janeiro was once the capital of Portugal. That makes it the only city in the history of mankind to have been the capital of a European country, but outside of Europe. The statue of Christ with his arms outstretched above Rio is one of the most popular monuments in the entire world. It is as high as 38 meters, located on top of a hill, and weighs 635 tons. However, in 2014 it was struck by thunder, and for that pieces of its fingers are missing. The Carnival in Rio de Janeiro, apart from being the most famous, attracts near 2 million tourists every god day. That is a total of about 6 million people who go there to see it. In 1994, Copacabana, the famous 4 kilometers beach, hosted the biggest concert in the history of mankind. It had 4.2 million people and was free. The legendary Rod Stewart brought the roof down through his performance. The concert holds the top spot in the Guinness Book of Records. The capital of Brazil is not Rio or Sao Paulo, but a city called Brazil. You probably already knew that. But did you know that this city was built in just 3.5 years? The architectural plan of the whole city is made in such a way that when seen from above, it looks like an airplane. The two biggest cities there, though, are Rio and Sao Paulo. Unfortunately, they're also very often listed as the most dangerous cities in the world. There are neighborhoods from which a foreigner cannot get out alive. Ghettos are known as favelas, and their tin houses are literally on top of each other. Naturally, there is no sanitation, and diseases are from A to Z. Have you been stuck in a traffic jam? I guess it wasn't very pleasant. But listen to that. In 2013, Sao Paulo was paralyzed by such a gigantic traffic jam whose length, the total length was 309 kilometers. The city literally went into lockdown and couldn't move anywhere. Fishermen from the lagoon town have trained dolphins to help them while fishing. Like sheepdogs, they steered the schools directly into the nets of the clever fishermen. You probably knew that Brazil is home to the greatest biodiversity in the world. Massive deforestation and poaching very seriously threatens this title. Brazil is home to the largest Japanese community outside of Japan. Some 2 million Japanese have found their new home there. The reason for this is a very successful cooperation treaty between the two countries in the not-so-distant past. It's not just piranhas eating people. The other way around exists too. Brazilians make a very interesting soup from them, which they even consider an aphrodisiac. However, if you are not into soups, you can order grilled piranha. Football for Brazilians is a religion. Absolutely every city there has at least one stadium. So far, they are still the only nation to have won the World Championship 5 times. Let me know now in the comments below if you know any famous current Brazilian footballers. Brazilians have even built a stadium with its center on the equator of the planet. So one team starts the match in the northern and the other in the southern hemisphere. Brazil is one of the last countries in the world to ban slavery. Over the centuries, they have imported more than 5 million slaves from Africa. Did you know that Brazil has vertical cemeteries? The tallest one is a 106-meter skyscraper. People, a skyscraper cemetery. It's really super weird. Can you imagine a grave on the 34th floor? Crazy work. The king of football Pelé also was laid to rest in the world's tallest cemetery, located in Santos, Brazil. In 1932, Brazil's economy was so bad that their athletes were selling coffee on side of the road so they could get to the Olympics in Los Angeles. The French and Dutch also had very serious appetites for Brazilian territories, but the Portuguese outmaneuvered them very cleverly through successful alliances with the locals. The smallest species of frog in the world is found in Brazil. It is tinier than a man's fingernail and is therefore often called the flea frog. Until now, the record for the largest bank robbery is held by a Brazilian gang, which in 2005 dug a remarkable 80 meters tunnel under the vault and managed to steal over $80 million. They literally stole 5 pallets full of money. Brazil is believed to be home to descendants of Nazis since after World War II most of them fled to South America. Even Joseph Mengele fled there and died in Sao Paulo in 1979. Manaus is a city of 2 million people, located in the heart of the Amazon, and there's no other city within a radius of 800 kilometers. Only a very serious jungle. In fact, if you want to immerse yourself in the real rainforest very often, this is exactly the starting point. The most popular surname in Brazil is Silva or da Silva, which actually translates from Latin as jungle or from jungle. In some public toilets in big cities, besides for men and women, there is a third door for people who can't identify what gender they are. Guarana is a fruit which is rich in caffeine even more than coffee. Very often an extract of it is put in energy drinks. The world's largest emerald has been found in Brazil. It weighs 341 kilograms and is valued at a remarkable $400 million. The pirarucu fish is one of the largest freshwater fish in the world and is found only in South America. It reaches as much as 3 meters and is considered the greatest challenge to fishermen. You may be surprised, but the most poisonous animal in Brazil is not a spider or a snake, but a frog. Not any frog, but a dart frog. They can often be confused because there are 185 species and all of them have very bright colors. They are about the size of the tip of your index finger, but the venom on their skin is absolutely enough to kill 10 people. Let me read you down in the comments. Do you know exactly why are they called dart frogs? Brazil has a law that prohibits it from participating in any war. Unless, of course, she is directly attacked. Technically, in its history, it has only participated in one war, and that was the botched attack on Paraguay. Gambling and alcohol consumption are not particularly tolerated in Brazil. There are no casinos and you can only gamble online. If you get caught drunk behind the wheel, not only will they take your license for a few years, but they will confiscate your vehicle. If you found yourself mesmerized by Brazil's beauty and history, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Fact Frenzy for more exhilarating journeys around the globe. Remember, the world is full of wonders just waiting to be explored, and we'll be here to uncover them together. Until next time, keep exploring, keep discovering, and keep embracing the magic of our planet.